Oh, I hit play already. Really good intro. This is a really good start. Yeah, I realized when I was starting to record this stuff, I realized I don't have like a real good intro yet. So if I continue like doing this whole YouTube thing on my leisurely time, maybe we'll think up something. For right now, this is kind of the best we got. Gotta work with it. Okay, so yeah, we're here today. I wanted to just do a video talking about like my top three favorite games this year. There are multiple games I played this year. I realized while I was making this list, there were a lot of games I played this year that actually didn't release in the year 2019. So I think in total, all the games I played in 2019 was eight. One more if you count Mario Kart 2 or being a mobile title, but I guess that can count. Yeah, so I'm basically taking these nine games, we count that one, putting it in a list of my top three. Originally we had top five. I'm like, okay, so that's basically all the games I played this year that came out. So I thought top three would make it a little more interesting, and then have a couple honorable mentions, and we'll go from there. All right, sounds good. Let's go for it. Okay, so we'll be counting down to my top favorite games of the year, which I imagine if any of you keep up with me or see me on Twitch, you probably know what my top game is at this point. But if you don't, you'll learn about a few minutes in the video. The suspense is killing me. My third favorite game of the year is going to go to Super Mario Maker 2. The game just screams creativity. I'm a huge fan of the series. This is a game I've streamed online numerous times in the past and played countless levels viewers have sent me, showcasing me their creativity and ideas, inspiring level ideas for me to create. The game has a lot to offer anyone, really. Even if you may not be interested in creating levels, there are tons of levels available online via the course world made by people all over the world, as well as a single player story mode containing over 100 levels designed by Nintendo themselves. There's just so much stuff here that you can do. I'm going to be honest, this game actually just barely made the cut in my top three. Originally, I was torn between Mario Maker and Luigi's Mansion 3, but decided Mario Maker just because it brought me more value for me personally. The game is essentially endless, with a vast amount of levels and styles to play, and offers a fun and easy to use level creator. I do find that Mario Maker 2 has taken a couple of steps back to the original game on Wii U, though. Levels aren't as easy to make using the Joy-Cons, at least for me. I don't know about you, this is just me. I prefer to use the touchscreen, and with the Switch undocked, makes the process of making levels more efficient, especially if you buy yourself a styles for your Switch. It really speeds up the process, believe me. I also have to talk about the lack of costumes in the original Mario Bros. Style. That to me hurts that style. I don't think I see nearly as many levels using that style as in the original Mario Maker 1 on Wii U. The costumes brought a lot of creative ideas for levels, like making inspired themed stages that use those costumes. I've seen plenty online, say a Mega Man themed stage. We're starting to see costumes coming with the newly released Link costume, bringing a lot more than I expect with how he's able to use his bow and bombs. I also made a level like themed off of solving puzzles using that. It's very interesting. I like that they did that. Also, to be honest, the online is just dreadful. If one person has a bad connection, everyone seems to suffer with the lobby lagging. Typically, if I played any multiplayer with randoms, 4 out of 5 games offer would be laggy. It would be a laggy experience, which is a shame because I think this could have added so much value to the game if it only worked. I'm sure there's more cons I could throw about this game, but now I should give more pros because it's my top three. The game has the new style of Super Mario 3D World, which is very unexpected to me, but hey, I'm cool with it. It's a welcome addition to me. It makes me think there could also be a bonus style to come in the future, and the game is also able to let you download and play multiple levels offline. I can't tell you how many times I just download some levels and play them on the go when I had a moment to play. It's nifty and a lovely addition to an endless Mario experience that just keeps bringing more. Okay, so my second game of the year is going to go to Fire Emblem Three Houses. I called Fire Emblem Three Houses what Fates sort of wanted to be when being made. Having the multiple routes and different stories make for a unique experience on each route taken. Three Houses did an exceptional job creating each of its routes over Fates in my opinion. While I haven't finished all 4 routes in this game, I do see its value from what I've seen of others' playthroughs that I've seen online. At this moment of this recording, I am only on my second route being Golden Deer, also Clappy Beautiful. The first route I did the Black Eagles. The game just has so much to offer, and I could probably make a whole video entirely talking about just that. I was hesitant when I heard that they were throwing out the weapons triangle, but they managed to make the battle system very fun. Also, with you being a professor, seeing your students grow and develop over the course of the story was a very engaging experience. Being on my second playthrough, the route I am on is completely different to the original route after a certain chapter passes. The beginning of the game plays out mostly the same with its missions, but with the class you're teaching, giving you time to learn of your students and what each excels at individually. I was very surprised when I learned that every line of dialogue is voice acted in this game. That's a big step for the series. I know technically the first Fire Emblem game to have full voice acting would be Shadows of Valencia on the 3DS, but still nice to see them moving forward with that for the series as the game is bursting with so many memorable characters. The game's challenge is there depending on your difficulty level. I think this is a good game to get people into the series, with it offering a variety of difficulties for people looking for a challenge or more casual play. I don't want to go too in depth with the game without spoiling some of the routes, so I will move on from here, but want to leave off with, if you love RPG games, then I honestly can't recommend this game enough. It's pretty good. I give it a solid pretty good, and yes, indeed, worth your time. Do it. Get it. Please. From the video thumbnail, you can probably have a guess at which game will be my top game of the year. I wanted to take this time to give an honorable mention to a game I enjoyed but didn't make the cut for my top 3 of this year. This game is Kingdom Hearts 3. I have been a big fan of the series since the first game released, and my sister brought home a copy of Kingdom Hearts 1. I thought it was pretty epic how we were able to travel to Disney World to team up with Disney characters and overcoming the trial of each individual world. Kingdom Hearts 3 was a mostly enjoyable experience for me personally. I found I had some issues with the game that hindered it to being in my top 3. The game has a lot going for it with its battle system and so much to use that are usually crowd control type attacks. I wasn't the biggest fan of the attraction rides they added to the game and felt the story was somewhat lacking till the end of the game. Some Disney World I did generally enjoy a great deal, but felt like something was missing in others. I do have to admit this game is honestly just absolutely stunning. The worlds are bursting with life and colors. I don't want to go too in depth with the story without having to put a spoiler warning, so I just want to keep this game brief. I felt that the game, like the end of the game in particular, was when a lot of major stuff happens, and the Disney worlds don't really matter nearly as much as the prior titles with Sora, in Kingdom Hearts 1, exploring for his friends, and then Kingdom Hearts 2 had Sora opening the gates to move on to each world. Kingdom Hearts 3, your main task was to find the power of waking through exploring Disney worlds, hoping you discover how to use that power. Now, I still enjoyed the game and loved the series, it's just how I felt about this entry in particular. I know people love this game, and that's really great. I'm very excited to see more from the series, as well as the Remind DLC coming out next year. Conveniently 358 days after the original release date for Kingdom Hearts 3. I absolutely love that they did that. So if you made it to this point in the video, I want to thank you. I appreciate and all that good stuff, If you skimmed all the way to the end to see my top game, oh. Well, cool, I guess. My top game of the year has to go to Resident Evil 2 Remake. This game honestly blew my mind. It's such a good survival horror experience that I could talk about all day, but my friends wouldn't let me. Brings players back to such memorable locations and putting a modern take to how the original RE2 played back in the day. The third-person perspective worked well, I think, and I think it was the best choice to attract more casual players than if they had stuck with the tank control static camper sort of deal. I was hoping they would somehow integrate a tank control static camera mode somehow, just somewhat similar to how Capcom handled doing that in Resident Evil 5, the Lost in Nightmares DLC, but oh well. The game showcases a good story for Leon and Claire having their own routes. While they both explore the same main areas, each get exclusive weapons, items, and areas to explore in their scenarios, making for good incentive to check out both of their routes. I wasn't the biggest fan of how the A-B scenario was handled compared to the original RE2 from back in the day, with stuff happening between the scenarios not being connected to each other. Like if Mr. X was taken down by Birkin, but still somehow showing up in Leon's run in the B scenario. I wish there was a more canon between the scenarios where it mixed things up more based on what happens in playing Claire A, Leon B, or vice versa. The game's presentation is very well done. The environments look very well detailed with you walking around the infested RPD damaged after the outbreak. I think the second major area fell a little flat for me, but the lab section was well done, even if it was redesigned from its original 98 counterpart. I remember picking this game up and immediately started streaming it right away and getting lots of spooks on stream, which I haven't really had many games do that in recent years. I honestly believe the last time a game got me spooked was during the Mrs. Baker fight in RE7, because dang, Miss Baker, she'd be very spooky. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about if you played it. This game constantly had me worried about what's around the corner at every turn, unsure of what's to come. Getting grabbed suddenly with no defensive items is brutal. They don't hold back when a zombie is going all in on a bite on Leon or Claire. We have all this happening, and the impact I got from seeing Mr. X for the first time brought me so much fear. Before I knew how to handle his AI, I had no idea what I was doing or how to even go about dealing with him. It was such a memorable experience because it just shows up out of nowhere. Old fans are used to seeing him only in the B run, but this time he shows up in all of the runs in the game. Him stalking Leon and Claire across the RPD brought so many spooks and created a lot of anxiety, making this a very memorable survival horror game and making me very excited to get my hands on the future Resident Evil 3 Remake when that releases next year. Okay, that's my top three favorite games 2019. I didn't want to go too in depth on each of these games because I knew the video would drag on, but glad, just very glad I got my thoughts out there about them. I want to thank everyone that made it to this point in the video. I appreciate greatly that you would take the time to see what my personal favorites were for this year. There are other games I want to try this year that came out, like, for example, Death Stranding and Secure that I wanted to play, but didn't because, lack of time or money. Both those things, actually, for my case. I'm hoping to play those games and others in the future because there's just so many great gaming experiences out there to be had. Again, thank you for watching, and if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. I also stream on Twitch if any of you guys are interested in that. If you'd like to support and follow me on there, I'll make sure to have a link in my description. Replaying the video games, it's a pretty good time. Other than that, have a lovely day, everyone. Alright, bye now.